So tonight I want to talk about responsibility when you take kids to the range. Okay, so today there was an incident where a 9-year-old girl was in Arizona, and she got a hold of, or not she got a hold of, but she was in Arizona, and her parents took her to this tourist place where they could fire machine guns. And they gave her a 9mm Uzi. It looked like one of those mini Uzis from what I could see. Had a little metal stock. The instructor was standing right there, showed her how to fully work it, how it all worked, and then had her fire one shot just fine, and then told her to put it on full auto. And when she put it on full auto, the gun spun out of her hand and shot the instructor and killed him. Okay, now, if this was the first time this ever happened, I could see how maybe they could claim that they couldn't envision it. But in 2008, an 8-year-old boy in Connecticut with a micro Uzi ended up having it spin on him and it killed him. So, you know, the fact that this has happened now twice, an 8-year-old boy in 2008 and 2014 a 9-year-old girl who took out the instructor, who was standing right there with his hands, like he was right there. It just spun so fast he couldn't react. Since this has happened twice, I hope this goes to show anyone who has a micro Uzi or who rents them out that these weapons really are not to be put in the hands of children. I'm sorry. You know, I made a video before where I talked about these guys that gave a small 100-pound lady a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum, and it double tapped and took her head off. So, I mean, I just have to say, when it comes to children, you need to really think about what is appropriate, what they can handle. They're smaller, they're inexperienced. And no one should shoot an Uzi unless they're already a proficient shooter, in my opinion. Is not something for an amateur to take on. It is a very hard weapon to control, and it has high muzzle rise, more so than any other rifle. I mean, even shooting a fully automatic M16 can be dangerous, much less something so short that it can spin right back, or spin like that on you, or spin right back on you. When you take your children out to the range, you need to give them, work them up from a low-level weapon to a higher-level weapon. Maybe start them off with a 22, maybe a semi-automatic 223. My son's up to where he can shoot a 243 rifle. He's 9 years old. It's a youth model rifle made for 9-year-olds, and he can shoot it just fine. But I'm not going to have him get behind my 7 mag or my 375 H&H. I'm not going to have my son get on a 12-gauge semi-auto shotgun. These are just things I will not put in the hands of my 9-year-old boy. I'm not going to give him my 44 Magnum. If I'm shooting my 44 Magnum and he's like, "Can I try it, Dad?" No. I'm sorry. You weigh 56 pounds. You can't shoot a 44 Magnum. I apologize. When you're bigger and older, I'll let you give it a try. But again, you got to be responsible with children, and an instructor and the range owner should have had rules in place to avoid this sort of thing, in my opinion. Since it had happened before in 2008, they should have probably been aware of that situation, and to think that it wouldn't happen again because an instructor's standing there, because I'm sure that's what they thought, just goes to show it doesn't matter. These things happen so fast. When a gun gets out of control, it doesn't matter if somebody's standing right there. It's going to happen in the blink of an eye. So be careful with your children and with other people's children. If you see someone at the range doing something stupid with a kid, stop them. Go, "You're going to let that kid shoot a 44 Magnum? Has he ever done that before? Don't do that. It's going to hurt him." You know, and just some people are dumb. Some people hand oversized weapons because they think it's funny if it clocks people in the face, like girls with 12-gauge shotguns. It makes me sick. So again, just be responsible and think about what they can handle. Work them up from lower to higher, just like anything, and make sure they can handle it. And be safe always, and always have parental supervision.